Is Christianity too narrow? Imagine that the world has now come under a huge medical problem. There's a plague, okay? And this isn't just COVID. This is like the bubonic plague, the Black Death. This is serious. And everyone is rushing to find a cure because it's so deadly. And finally, someone finds it. And it happens to be an African doctor, a lady African doctor, and she comes up with this cure. She finds it. And the reason she finds it is because in her particular village, this particular plant grows that doesn't grow anywhere else. It's part of her family's property. And what she does, she spends everything she has, she cultivates this plant, and she makes a cure. She comes up with the cure. It costs her everything she has. She doesn't want any money for it. She doesn't want any fame for it. And the effort in producing this cure is so great, it actually kills her. But before she dies, she not only creates the cure for the problem, she announces that the cure should be made available to everybody without cost. Everybody without cost. And so she's able to declare finally, I have the cure. Things are good. People come to find this cure. The cure is distributed and many people immediately get better. Now, it's not long before somebody else comes along and thinks, I want a bit of this action. So somebody else comes along and says, you know what, I also have the cure. No, he doesn't, but he says he does. And what he does is he loves the fame and the attention that this woman got, even though she never wanted it. And so he says, I've got the cure as well. He says, but here's the problem. You won't be able to tell the benefit for at least 5 years. It's handy, isn't it? Very clever. And so this carries on. Another doctor comes forward in a different part of the world, and he claims, I have the cure. But what motivates him is how much money he can make from it. He knows people are desperate for this cure, and if he can distribute it, market it, even though it's not real, he's able to get it to a lot of people. He can make a huge amount of money. Another doctor arises, and she's pretty jealous about the whole thing. She doesn't like the fact that this cure is getting so much attention, so she publishes a paper which declares that the cure doesn't work. It actually doesn't work at all. Somebody else comes along and he's just mischievous. He just decides, I want to just discredit this completely because I like messing people up. I like the fact that a lot of people are dying in the world and that's great for me. Weird, but that's what he does. And so different people come along, more people come along, and some people say they have a version of the cure, but their version of the cure is to particularly appeal to the cultural groups that they represent. And so it carries on. The cures just keep coming. More and more doctors come forward all over the world to say they have the cure. Another man comes forward and he says, I too have the cure. It's good to take the cure. He says, but I want you to add things to it. He says, I want you to do a particular set of exercises and eat a particular diet. And he says, it just so happens I've produced this book of a special diet and a book of special exercises that you can buy from me as well. And so it goes on. Everywhere there are people coming forward and saying that they particularly have the cure. Roll on 30 years, 50 years, 100 years, there is so much confusion because someone coming to this now without perhaps knowing all the history hasn't got a clue which doctor is telling the truth. They think to themselves, is every one of these true? Can I take any of these and I'll get better? Here's where I want you to use your imagination. Imagine that these aren't doctors, that every one of these represents a religion. That's the problem we face, isn't it? Every religion is calling to us saying, follow me, listen to what I say, take my cure. And it's very confusing to know, well, which one is the right one? And there's 4 questions I want you to think about, and I think Joel is going to answer these. The first one is this. We need to ask ourselves, how serious is my problem? Do I have a problem? Is there something going on in me that only a religion is able to figure out? Do I want to do something about it? The second question is this. Is there really a cure? Is there really a solution for what I'm going through? Is there something out there that's going to be able to help me? The third question we need to ask is this. Are all cures the same? Can I take any one of these and hope that it will be good for me? Can I follow any religion and believe that it will end me getting to God? And the last one is this. If only one is the right solution, how do I know which one it is?